Hello, everybody. It's Lisa and Rona at Quilt Babble
Hello.
Live. So, literally, Rona, I don't know. Can you see when the intro is going? Can you see us on screen?
No, I see the video playing.
Okay, so I can see on screen, but even if I could, my camera fell literally as it was doing its last little tune. I was like, oh crap. So, yeah, I'm not going to touch it anymore. That's what's going to happen. Oh my gosh. Welcome everybody. It feels like it's been a long time. And
It
Rona,
has been.
we were so sad that we did not get to talk to you while you were over in another country. I had so many people that was so sad that Quilt Babble could not happen last month, but I know you're going to tell us all about it tonight.
Oh yeah. Well, it's interesting because Iceland is let's see, it's 7 hours ahead of me. So that means it's no, 4 hours ahead of you. Yeah. I think. I don't know. It's been a long week and a half, so my brain is not mathing right now. But anyway, but yeah, and you would think so when we were trying to go live and I was trying to get everything set up, it was like midnight, I think, there or something like that. And it was just,
Yes.
I mean, I you would think that late at night you wouldn't have issues connecting. You would think that it'd be a little more quiet, and yet no, nope.
Well, it is a foreign land. We'll just say that. No, I can't even say anything. Half the time, our internet at the shop is down. Unexpectedly, Steve is called for the maintenance people for Comporium. I don't know how many times to come out and they check everything. They're like, oh, life's great. And then as soon as we go live in the mornings, it goes slow connection or unable to connect. What do you say?
Or Amazon goes down and then the whole world just seems to stop.
Well, first of all, hey, Miss Brenda. She was one of the ones that was so sad, just so you know, Rona.
Oh, I'm so
Um,
sorry. But we'll make up for it tonight. I got all
we're
kinds of
gonna make it
goodies to
work
show you.
tonight. But yeah, you're right. I don't watch the news, but Steve mentioned something yesterday about, I don't know, I guess a lot of apps, a lot of websites were having troubles because of Amazon or something.
Yeah, I was surprised, like some of the apps on my phone that you would not think had anything to do with Amazon, and yet they still didn't work. Wow. I guess you just never know.
Yeah, for sure. A scene where Nancy McNally with Nancy McNally Quilts,
Oh, that's
I think
right.
she had posted something on Facebook or maybe her newsletter, but anyway, she was commenting. I guess she was supposed to post a pattern for her sew along.
The stitch along. Yeah.
Yeah, and she had commented that she had tried and tried and tried, but her website this and that. And I was like, oh, I bet she doesn't know that the problem really was not her. It
No.
was.
Oh yeah, I thought it was my phone at first, and then my husband, of course, the IT guy, was like, "Yeah, the whole thing's down." It's like, "Oh, well, that explains it. At least I know I don't need a new phone."
Exactly. So, Rona, what are we going to be talking about tonight? Oh, interruption. Miss Lori Kennedy says, hi, a huge thanks to Rona for making sure my sister got home in one piece. LOL.
It
She
was a
said you
close
guys
call.
had a great time.
Let me just tell you, it was a close call. I mean, there was some times. No, I'm just kidding. No, no, we
Well,
had a
that was
fabulous
a
time.
perfect timing, Lori, with your comment, because that's what we're going to be talking about. Scott Flanagan with Fourth and Main Designs. Yes, good evening. I had someone call this evening, Scott, right before we closed shop, that was asking the girls for more information because they had talked to Scott, I think at Festival of Quilts, and he told them that he was going to be at Serendipitous in 2026. I think May is when he's coming. I don't even know. But anyway, she was already calling for details. I laughed and I told Brenda, I was like, yeah, I don't know any details.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Scott is very popular.
I said, yes, he is coming. And that is the best I can say. I told
Mhm.
her, I said, I can't even validate May because I don't remember. Miss Carol Johnson says hello from Clinton, feeding cows and watching you. Oh, I love feeding
Oh, nice!
cows.
Yay! Oh, we got to meet some of them on in Scotland as well.
I bet you did. Scott says I did, and that is awesome. Oh, I knew it had to come from you because I hadn't blabbed about it. Because once again, I don't even know. Lori says, "Yeah, I'm in. I missed Scott's last retreat." Well, so I guess the cat is out of the bag. Scott is coming to Serendipitous in 26. I don't remember the dates. He says, I told them to get on the mailing list. Yes, yes, definitely get on the mailing list. He
Yep.
says May in all all caps. Yeah, that's the way it rolls. I'm just saying. Lisa, howdy from Kansas City. Aw,
I think I was
anything
in
with
Kansas
Kansas.
City not that long ago. I can't
Of
remember. It
course
all
you
kind
are.
of flows together now.
You're the traveling quilter, of course. But let's go back to Lori Kennedy's comment. So
Yes.
her sister Becky did go on your latest out of country tour.
Yep.
So that's what we're talking about tonight. First of all, what was the name of the tour? Where did you all go?
And we went to Scotland, and then about half the group added the extended layover in Iceland. So it was an extra 3 nights in Iceland at the end of the tour before coming back to the States.
How many days was the Scotland portion?
I think 12.
Oh, holy.
It was like a week and a half.
Exhausting. Oh,
Wait. Well,
exhausting.
but you gotta keep in mind though, like 2.5 of those are travel days.
Travel.
So you're
Yeah.
actually only in country for like 9 or 10 days.
Makes sense. Hello, Miss Donna. She says, hi, ladies. Just got back from Columbia Museum. Oh, I gotta love a little trip. I know Rona loves a little trip.
Or a big
So,
trip.
yeah, yes, in your world, a big trip. That is for sure. Okay, so Scotland, and then they could do an add on few days for Iceland. So, guys, I don't know about you, but I am ready to jump in to hear all things about this trip. So, Rona, where are you starting the journey for us tonight?
Well, I guess we could just start at the beginning. So I met everybody in Scotland. We landed in Glasgow, and I actually came in a day ahead of everybody else because I wanted to, make sure any last minute things got taken care of, that sort of thing. So met everybody as they came off the plane, and that was really fun because as people came, like especially the ones that I'd met before, it was like seeing old friends, and we did the whoop whoop, in the airport.
That's right.
So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, and then so the first day, and I had to get my planner out because when you do a tour, so much happens in such a short amount of time that you forget. Like halfway through the tour, somebody asked me, "Oh, what all have you done so far?" And it was like, hang on.
Exactly, exactly. While we're hanging for a second, shout back out to Sharon Riles. I see where she says she is in Charlottesville for 2 weeks. I love Charlottesville,
Ooh.
Virginia. And I bet the leaves are starting to turn. So I'm going to need you to tell me, Sharon, if it is looking pretty autumn there for sure.
It's even
So,
looking autumn here in Nevada.
is it really?
Yeah, we have trees in the backyard that are a beautiful shade of like a dark red and kind of reddish orange.
Yes, I love it. So you met everybody at the airport. I'm
Yeah.
assuming, are we getting on a bus there? What are we doing?
Yeah, so the bus, I should tell you about the bus. So our group, I don't like super big groups. Like you can find tours that are like 50 people, and that's way too many in my opinion. So our group, I think it was 20. I counted them like 15 times a day, and I don't remember now. It was like 24 somewhere in there. No, 27.
For a trip out of country, absolutely, I could see where smaller is bigger. Now, the Asheville party bus, we were 50 some strong, but
that's
that's
good
a one
thing.
day.
Right. That's a 1 day trip. Yeah. Yeah. But the smaller group, plus by the end of the tour, like everybody gets to know each other and you become really good friends. And, those relationships can form where when it's 50 some odd people, it's crazy. It's a little too crazy. But yeah, so the first day we got there and we went up to Ben Nevis, which is Fort Fort William.
Uh-huh.
That's where we went.
She's
Yes,
like,
Fort William.
is that where we went?
Yes, Fort William. Gosh, like I said, it's so much has happened since we got home from the tour. It's like everything jumbles together. But no, that's right. And we had our welcome dinner, and the welcome dinner at the hotel. I gave everybody a little booklet. And I actually do I have one? Yeah. So I created these booklets for everybody, and so it has the dates and where we went, and then so inside it literally has our full itinerary of everywhere we went each day, and then a little map with kind of the route that we went around. And then there was like some fun games in here, and then it's mostly like a journal so that people could write down, you know, things they wanted to remember that we did each day, stuff like that. And I actually got
an awesome little that's an awesome little piece.
Yeah, because I've never had anybody give these out on a tour. And I just thought, like, I always like to write things down as they happen so I can remember, because so much happens that I thought that this would be fun. And I got some really great feedback. People really liked doing this, and quite a few of them actually wrote in there every day, which was very cool. But yeah, so there's like scavenger hunt and, you know, some games in the back. Now I announced
bored, but we know there's no boring on your trips because you pack them so solid.
So I like to do games, and I like to keep things, you know, like entertaining. And so I created this game, which I called the Thistles game. And going forward, we're definitely going to pick a different object because I had in my head that thistles. So whenever somebody saw a thistle, to take a picture of it, and then at the end, and then they're supposed to write down in the book like where they saw it.
Right.
However, there were so many thistles. I completely spaced the fact that, you know, in every single gift shop, everywhere you went, even on the road signs, there's little thistles. And oh my gosh. So the person who won, who got the most thistles, had over 300. Yeah. So next time we're going to pick something else, like maybe a unicorn or a man with a bagpipe, or, you know, something that you're not going to see quite as much.
Well, you had the right frame of mind that you was trying to do something that would keep them engaged. You just didn't know how engaged that was going to be.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And she was not the only one that had like well over 200. So, I mean, it was just, it got pretty crazy. So we're definitely going to pick a different object.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that was the welcome dinner, was, you know, introducing everybody to each other, and then handing this out, and then announcing the games, and, you know, all that kind of fun stuff. So then it was heading off the next day, and we went to Black Sheep Farms. And what better way to start a Scotland tour than going into a farm and getting up close? I mean, we're talking up close and personal with the Highland coos and sheep. And so the people, it's Black Sheep Adventures Farm is where we went, and it's a nonprofit. And the people that own the farm, they also have some other ventures in the area, like a restaurant and stuff. But the farm is, their whole purpose is to preserve the species and to teach people about them. They have school groups that come out and learn about the animals, all kinds of stuff, which I think is absolutely amazing. And the people that were there that walked us out could not have been nicer. And he was also, you know, warning people, okay, here's the young ones, there's mom, stay away from the young ones because mom is watching you, you know. Kind of thing. But we learned the different kinds of coos, like the different colors, because they come in. Now, he said 6 different colors, and that was actually a trivia question for our first trivia night. And but when I looked it up online, they said there's 7. So there's kind of a I'm not sure.
There's a unicorn, number 7.
That's, there you go. But the sheep, he talked about the sheep and the different types of wool that the different sheep have and what they're used for. And some of them are like unusable for yarn. Not all wool can be used for yarn, which I didn't know that. So I thought that was
It's
pretty
too
fascinating.
bristly or something, if I remember.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
too coarse and it
yeah,
doesn't like brush out and all that like most yarn does or
yes,
wool.
yeah.
But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And then after that, we had a quick stop to pick up lunch on our way out to the whiskey distillery, because again, you get to Scotland, you got to have a shot of whiskey, in my opinion.
In your
But
opinion.
of course, go ahead. What? There's
You
somebody
know, I was just
commented.
gonna say, Scott's question was my question. Did you buy any wool that you could knit with?
We'll get
Did
into
they
that.
have it there on the farm where you could
No,
actually?
no, because it was an active farm. Like we literally went in with the animals. Like they're
Okay,
right there. And there's lots of amazing pictures that I haven't even gotten a chance to share yet. Actually,
right.
that's not true. Rochelle and I went live several times. We
Yeah.
did go live from the farm, and you could see the animal, the cows, like right behind us.
Yes.
So,
The reason I was going to ask that, and I'm sure Scott too, is I know that there is a couple of farms that's North Carolina. One of them's an alpaca farm, but
mm,
they also have sheep, and they literally process some of the yarn there. Like they shear the animals, they
right.
whatever that is.
Yeah.
Yes, they
Yeah,
do it all.
there's some other ones, smaller ones that do that as well. I think there was
Mhm.
one that I was talking to that was going to be a potential stop for us instead of Black Sheep, but it didn't work out.
Right.
They're a smaller farm, but they process the wool there on their farm, and they I think it was her sister or something like that, or family friend
Uh-huh.
that has a wool dyeing place
Oh,
where they actually dye the wool and all that stuff.
right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that one, like I said, I was trying to get that one, but it didn't work out. So we went Black Sheep instead. But the bus, oh my gosh, because we only had like 27 people, me made 28, and I wanted the smaller bus that's like 30 passenger or 32 passenger,
Right.
because some of the places that we went to, the giant coaches can't
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And they only had the big coach. So on the one hand, it was nice because everybody got to spread out, had
Yeah.
plenty of room. But on the other hand, if we had not had the driver that we did,
Yeah.
we would not have been able to get into, including the farm. Like there was
Oh,
places that our driver, Stevie, was absolutely phenomenal.
right. Right.
I gotta tell you this one story because it cracks me up. When we went to Culloden, I'm sitting like right behind him up front, right? So I can see out the front
Yeah.
window. And this gigantic bus, we get to Culloden, and there's a space in the back where the coaches park. And there was this gentleman, like opposite, that was in the back of his car. He had the back hatch open, and he was putting his shoes on or changing his shoes. And the bus, he had to do a K turn, essentially pull up and then back into the spot, right? So he pulls up, and I am telling you, that bus stopped this far from that man's knee, and
Oh,
he wasn't even paying attention, and he just looks up, and the bus is right there. He like
you.
jumps like back into his car.
He probably needed some Depends at that moment. I'm just
I
saying.
would have. I mean, it was this. Yeah, I can't. And if you talk to anybody else that was on the tour, they'll tell you the same. Like Stevie was an absolute wonder at the things that he was able to do with
Stevie
that bus.
Wonder.
Yeah, there you go. It was Stevie Wonder. Yeah.
You just said that. Stevie was a wonder.
So,
Mhm.
I was gonna say it at the end, but I can show you what I did get. Where is everything? Okay, so I did pick up this, which I can take it out of the box. This is, I thought this was just regular like wool yarn, but it's
Uh-huh.
not. It's Twool,
Okay.
Twool. So the tool, it's gardening
Cool.
tool. So
Uh-huh.
like gardening yarn. I can get it out. It's not coming out. Here we go. So this is, I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
So this is actual British and Scottish wool from
Uh-huh.
white face sheep. And this is typically used in the garden. So it's like, what do they call it? Garden, but you just twine. So it's
Fine.
twine made out
Right.
of wool instead of jute. And it's
That's interesting.
really amazing. And I got it because I wanted to do arts and crafts stuff with it. Because,
Yes.
like tie pumpkins or, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. But then they also had these, which I got as a gift. So
Oh,
this
that's
is a
fun.
pack of heirloom seeds for tomatoes. And this is
Oh,
that same twoll
yeah.
or the
Pop
twine.
it and crop it. I like it. Good
Isn't that
packaging.
cool?
Yeah, I'm expecting Steve to chime in because he usually knows all of these cool gardening things. We both love to garden, but since he's moved to South Carolina, he's done most of the garden until the squirrels obviously has taken over. But that's cute.
Yeah, I
Pop
thought
it
I
and
couldn't pass
crop
that up. I was like, that's really cool. But I felt like an idiot when I was because the reason I grabbed the box was I thought that this was like wool, like heavy yarn, but
it.
it's
Yes.
not. It's like actual twine made out of the wool. So I think that's
It's
even
just
better to play with.
Yeah, well, it's just interesting because when I think of tying things up in the garden, I think about tying the tomatoes and this kind of stuff. I would just think the wool would be so much more expensive to literally use it in the garden tying something up. So interesting.
Well, this one was I don't know, it doesn't say how much is on each one, but there's 3 and you can see they're
Uh-huh.
good size.
Yeah.
And this one was 9 pounds for
Yeah.
all of it.
She
So I
says
guess
9 pounds, people. Like I can calculate US dollars to pounds.
there'd be
That's
roughly
not.
$12 US.
Yeah. No, that's not bad. That's not bad at all because those are
I
nice
didn't think
size.
that was bad.
But I'm sure probably the wool, in the garden is just keeping it organic and stuff, so it would,
Yeah.
biodegrade. Yeah.
So one of the other places that we went to up in the Highlands was Loch Carron, which is it was their heritage, the weaver shop. So Loch Carron has the mill down in Selkirk, which we went there as well. But then they also have the weaver shop, which is basically their storefront, and that's
Mhm.
up in the Highlands. So I mean, it's like a day's drive between the two.
Yeah.
But so when we stopped at Loch Carron, several people got because you can buy tartan by the meter there
Mm,
or by the
okay.
yard.
Right.
But so several people did that, and then you can also have like a custom tartan made for you there. Like they
Okay.
do all your measurements and everything. It's actually really cool. And going to the mill, the mill was not running that day, so we couldn't go in to see the looms working. However, they
Oh, that
still
would have
had
been
this.
fun though.
Oh yeah, but they had a video, and then they have all this stuff in the welcome center that walks you through, so you can still see exactly step by step how everything is made.
Mm.
And one of the ladies there, she did a full explanation about the whole process. But what they do is they take you back behind into the fabric store, which is where all of the fabric that is made, all the tartans and the raw wool and all that stuff
Uh-huh.
is all in the back, and you
Wow.
can go through and see the whole thing. Like that room, I love that room.
I bet. I
I could
bet.
spend days in that room. And we almost
Yes.
lost a couple people that I had to go back and get so we could leave.
I was gonna say we're trying to leave. So Sharon says, wouldn't moths eat the yarn in the garden? Hmm.
I don't think so, because I think because of the way it's made to prevent that, but it's also biodegradable. So I was reading the back,
Yeah.
and it releases nitrogen as it biodegrades. So it
Nice.
actually helps refeed the soil as it's breaking down, which I thought was cool too.
So Pam says, chance of a lifetime trip. Pam, I don't know your last name, but can I assume Pam was on the trip?
I'm not sure.
I don't know, Pam. Tell us, was you on the trip or are you saying that this trip sounds like once in a lifetime?
We did have a Pam. I don't know if or is it
Uh-oh.
Pat? No, we had Patty. We had Patty on the trip.
Patty.
Yeah,
Okay.
Patty and Betty,
Pam,
which are
Pam, talk
absolutely
to us.
adorable. I absolutely Betty was, I gotta say, so okay, we were talking about Lori, we were talking about your sister. So the last night that we were there, we're sitting at the dinner table, and it was Betty and Becky, like right here. And Betty is like, I mean, she's probably like 4'10. I don't know. She's just packed full of energy. Absolutely adore her. And so Patty was Betty's roommate, and they were talking about how one night Patty had left her phone open And so when she got back, I think she took a shower or something, and she got her phone, and there was all these pictures of Betty with making funny faces and stuff on her phone. It was hysterical. And so I was showing the group later on at dinner, I was showing them something on my phone, and I made the mistake of handing Betty my phone. And I get it back, and there's this great picture of her and Becky making these funny faces on my phone.
So I don't know who Betty is, but moral of the story is do not leave your phone near Betty.
Well, and I think on the tour in general, just don't take watch your phone, because you never know what you're going to get when you get it back.
You never know. So is Pam Satterfield our Pam? Okay. She says no, just saying she's so blessed to have the experience. Hugs and kisses.
I completely agree, and I'm very, very grateful for what I get to do for a living. So thank you. So talking about more wool. So next month I'm going to Oklahoma for a retreat with Rochelle, and we're going to be doing wool felting, and I've never done that before. So I'm very excited. And one of the places next to Loch Carron that we went to was Kiki's Craft Corner, which is basically like a quilt shop. But they also have all kinds of different crafts, not just fabric. Right. So I got a little bit.
Says, Becky said that Betty was a lot of fun. Oh my God, look at the yarn.
Well, I got a little bit of wool.
You think?
It's all just combed wool. It's like, but look at that.
Like woven. Yeah.
This is, and I wish you could feel it and how soft it is. Holy cow.
Yummy.
So I'm very excited to take this in, because we're going to make a coup. While we were on the trip, Rochelle made, doing wool felting, made a coup. So I think we're going to do that, or at least I will. I don't know about everybody else.
For those that do not know, what is a coup?
It's a cow. It's a Highland cow. This is also something I purchased for my shelf on my knickknack shelf, because he had a name. And so Cameron had to come home with me because he was just too cute not to.
He is too cute. The reason I said tell everybody what a coup is because I did not know until probably 6 months or a year ago that a coup was a cow. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I'm really lost.
It's Gaelic for cow.
Oh, there you go. There you go. But Cameron is cute, so I'm glad Cameron got to come to the USA.
Yeah, Cameron's not the only one. So when we were at, in fact, when I just put away, so the wool, or the twine, I got that at Blair Castle. So Blair Castle was one of the places we stopped because Lady Evelyn, who was the daughter of the owner of Blair Castle, she was a very eclectic personality. This was, I think, in the 1800s, if I remember correctly. But she was ahead of her time. She knew her own mind. Well, she knew like her own personality, and she was not allowing people to tell her what to do. And, her father was saying, you will do this and you will do that. And she was like, no, I'm not.
She was definitely ahead of her time if this was 1800s. And
she was also, she made lace. And she collected lace pieces from all over the world. And her collection is at Blair Castle. And so we got to go like behind the scenes, because there's a selection of her lace on display for the public, but we got to go in the back into the library and see a much bigger spread and get real close and look at the detail in this lace is absolutely gorgeous.
I bet so.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Lisa said, take you some Band-Aids for felting. Needles are very sharp.
Scout Mom, I always have Band-Aids. Yep.
I'm going to say that Miss Winters is speaking from experience. That sounded like experience to me.
That definitely did. Definitely did. So in the gift shop at Blair Castle is where I got the twine. But I also, they had these ducks. I don't know what it was. If it had a name, it came home with me. And so this guy's name is Brody. So he had to come home with me as well.
Oh my gosh. What randomness.
I could not turn him down. Is he not awesome?
So I I can see it now. You're at the airport returning to the US, and they're like, man, we got to check your bag because when it went through the x ray, there's some weird things going on.
Are
Oh,
you
it's just
smuggling a
Brody.
duck?
It's just Brody. Oh my, well, okay. I have to ask, what did your husband say when you showed him Brody?
He just kind of rolled his eyes because he knows me.
Oh
But
my
I
God.
have a knickknack shelf in my studio that is specifically for my little things when I travel. So
Mm.
he had to come home with me too.
So this time it was animals with names. Got it.
Yeah, yeah, but it's just the two. It was just Cameron and Brody. So, but I
Mm.
did get fabric. So we did, like I said, Kiki's was where we got the wool, or I did anyway, the raw wool. But a lot of other people did pick up some fabrics and stuff there because I know you and I know, but some other people may not know that the UK has their own fabric lines.
Yes.
And so you can actually get some fabrics there that you may not be able to get here in the States,
Got you.
which is uncommon for European countries. So,
Yes. Yes,
um,
definitely.
and so speaking of fabric, let me show you what I got. Because we
Yes.
went to not just Kiki's, but we also went to Edinburgh Fabrics in Edinburgh. If you are there, I highly recommend it. It's not a huge shop, like not compared to some of the shops we have here.
Right.
However, because it's smaller than your shop, but
Right.
what they do, they have a really good selection of all kinds of stuff. And they had Lewis and Irene. So, of course, I had to get some Lewis and Irene because I was there. And they
You
have,
gotta support.
because being on the West Coast now, nobody knows about Lewis and Irene out here. So I want Brian to know, if you're watching or you watch in the future, I am spreading the word.
And he appreciates it. Before you show the fabric, Brenda said Brody is adorable. Steve said Brody is too cute! Exclamation point.
I
Brody
love him.
is cute, but I have to harass you, Rona. But I really think you should have a T-shirt that says something about Brody and Cameron. I don't know, some kind of something.
I could take a little picture of them together, like just a little, and
Yeah,
then
but
put
it's
it on
gotta
a
be a
t-shirt.
side view of Brody and then some kind of sentence. But okay, show us
That would
some
be good.
fabric.
Okay, so then we also went. Okay, so this was Edinburgh Fabrics, and I got some of this. I think this is their Highland. Is it the Highland collection?
That's one of the Highlands. I have that, or I think we're sold out, but I had that in the store. And I just
I
want
was
to
just going
giggle
to ask
because
that.
in your hand you've got thistles.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Fabric, everything else. Trust me, the thistles were all over. So we got the thistles, and then we
Yep.
got these little thistles,
Oh, cute. Yes.
and then I got, of course, the coos.
Yes. Nice.
Because I like the coos. And then
Cameron needs a blanket.
so these, I already had a
Ooh.
couple of these, but I was able to get more. Like I got like a lot more of
Was
these
this a
panels.
panel?
Yeah. So these are there's 4 of them in one thing. So we have
Oh, cute. Yeah.
2, and then the Celtic.
Nice. Yes.
I'm thinking of making double-sided pillows with these.
Oh, that would be fun. That would be fun.
And then this one, of
Who's
course,
the fabric maker of this? Oh, with the buck. Nice.
the stag. So this one I think is, it's got to be on one of these sheets.
Right in your hand. I've seen the salvage marking in your hand.
Yeah, but it's just the colorways. It's not
Got you.
Oh, here we go. Littondale Fabrics.
Never
I think
heard of
that's
them.
the other one. That's the other British one that I can never remember.
Yeah.
Littondale, Littondale Fabrics.
Yeah,
And
those are pretty. The colors are rich on it for sure.
oh my goodness. And then this is the
Thistle. Nice.
so like I said, these are huge. I mean, as you can see.
They
So
really are big.
I'm really thinking, like, because I got, like I said, more of these panels because I wanted to make a quilt and maybe like some double-sided pillows to go with them. And then the one thing that I really wanted to get at Edinburgh Fabrics that I didn't, that I was going to ask you about, is Lewis and Irene. I think it's part of the Highlands collection. They have the oh shoot, what's it called? The triangles that hang up.
Bunting.
Bunting, yes. It was an actual bunting panel.
It
Did you
was a
get that?
bunting panel. No, gone. Gone.
Because I meant
See,
to get that as a
are
giveaway.
thistles a thing? Thistles is a real thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Thistles it's an actual flower, and it is the official flower of Scotland. So yeah, and there's a story behind him that the thistle was the reason why the Vikings were not able to conquer Scotland, because this is how the story goes. The Vikings were tiptoeing in to be
Uh-huh.
at night to be quiet,
Oh,
and they stepped on the thistles that
yes.
because the thistles have
Ow.
thorns, and
Yes.
it hurt their feet, and then so they took off. There's lots of tales.
So here, guys, not only do you get quilt babble, but you get history babble as well. It may or may not be the truth. We do not know.
I don't know, but I do know that they have a Viking festival every year in Largs in Scotland that celebrates the day that the Scots kicked the Vikings out.
That would probably be fun, actually.
Actually, it was, because I went to that 2 years ago, and there was a lady there that was
Of course you did.
so the old Viking, the earls and the wives, they had, it's not a brocade, but it's like, because it's not stitched into the fabric, but it
Uh-huh.
lays over top, and it's like it's a specific type of lacing that they did.
Uh-huh.
And I looked it up because they do it in Norway too, but I can't think of it. Anyway, it's they used these little cards, or well, stones at the time, and they numbered them, so it was kind of like a braiding system, not like you would think of like we do today. It,
Right,
it's
right.
it's it's really, really fascinating, but it's how they used to make these things, like 500 years ago. So
Right.
that was pretty fascinating. And I'm working on, like I said, they do it in Norway, and you can still like find videos and stuff on how they do it. So for our Norway series for the
Uh-huh.
show and all that stuff, hopefully we'll be able to actually find somebody that teaches it, and we'll do
That
a
would
full
be
episode on it. That's pretty
so.
cool.
Speaking of teaching, I know while you were over there, you had a little retreat day, right?
We did. We did.
Do
That was with
tell, do
Tracy.
tell.
Oh my gosh. She got there before we did at the hotel. So when the bus arrived, she was
Now, where is
outside.
this located? Where did this part happen?
This was towards the end. This was kind of like mid Scotland. It's south of okay, if you look at just the Scotland portion of the country, Edinburgh and Glasgow are right here. We were
Uh-huh.
like right here.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
like south central of that. And it was on a golf course. The hotel was so it's like a resort spa, because they actually had a spa and everything there. A lot of the ladies got massages while we were there. And it's just absolutely beautiful out there. But we got the whole day with Miss Tracy Perks, which if you follow us, you've heard of Tracy Perks. If not,
Well,
it's Rope and Anchor Trading Company.
yeah.
And she's on the
Kathy,
little boat.
yes, she is the little boat. Kathy says, fun reliving the trip.
Oh, yes,
And
absolutely.
I'm not going to pronounce your last name, Kathy, because I cannot.
So Tracy did, because we also went to Dovecot Studios, which is where in Edinburgh, where they actually have tapestry makers there, and you can watch them make these massive tapestries, the ones in the castles that take up a full wall. Yeah. And so you can, if you are an artist, you can rent space in there to make them and use these giant looms. But we also got a walkthrough in the history of the studios and all that. So it was really cool. So because we saw the tapestries, and of course the tapestry collection at Stirling Castle, we did our own little tapestry with Tracy. So everybody got one of these kits, and we actually have an extra one. But it's this
I
frame.
think it probably needs to make its way to South Carolina. I'm just saying, but go ahead. I'm listening.
So we got these frames, which is an actual wooden loom frame, and it's adjustable, that can go up to, I think, 36 inches or 30 inches, so 30 by 12.
Okay.
And then there's, in each kit was also some fabric, and then thread and needle. And she worked up a little pattern for us to create.
Wow.
Can you guess what we were working on?
Probably a thistle.
A thistle, yeah.
Was it really? I started to say a cow, but then I was like, no, I'm just gonna.
Well, I mean
I
the
don't know
colors
if
too.
y'all, yeah, I don't know if y'all have ever watched, oh my gosh, I think it's called What's Happening Live with Andy Cohen. Like, I've only watched it here and there, but at the beginning of the show, he'll always go, if you hear this word, you have to take a drink. So every time the word's that, you're supposed to take a drink. So yeah, tonight the word is
It's
thistle. I'm
thistle.
just
Yeah. That is definitely the word. The word of the day is
saying, take a
thistle.
drink. So Scott Flanagan says, Tracy is awesome. Glad she came to hang with Lisa and I too. Yes, that was really nice. Scott is referring to, for those of you that do not know, but once again, if you follow us, we were at Houston Quilt Market and Tracy came over from the UK.
I am
So,
so bummed that I didn't get to go, but I did get to see her in Scotland, so that was nice.
yes, you did get some time there. So they had class. So now was that like something everyone did, or was that an
Yeah.
add-on?
No, that was part of the tour. It was
Nice.
because that it gave everybody a day off of the bus, but
Yeah.
also gave a day to relax. Because in the morning, Tracy did a trunk show essentially, and
Okay.
talked about her life on the boat and how she came into sewing because she used to be in HR, and and so it was actually really neat. She did a really good job with the trunk show, and then we started the workshop, which she did a fabulous job with that too. And
Right.
and that took about like the first half of the day, and then we had lunch right next door. I had lunch brought in for everybody, like a buffet style, and
Nice.
then after lunch everybody could pretty much do what they wanted. Tracy and I hung out in the classroom for anybody that wanted to continue working,
Right.
and people just kind of come in and out and all that stuff until dinner. So it was actually a really good day, like just very relaxed, laid back, have a good time, learn some tapestry.
It was probably, like you said, nice to kind of have a down day, but still
Yeah,
doing something, interactive with everybody.
right. And
Um,
the view was great. I mean, there were some horses on the hillside, and like, I mean, just it was absolutely beautiful. It was good.
yeah, here's Nancy McNally chiming
Hi,
in
Nancy.
from up in Michigan. Y'all know Miss Nancy McNally of Nancy McNally Quilts. So Rona, with that being said, like I heard through the grapevine that you like to killed everybody because it really was jam packed. Now, when I say that, they were loving every minute of it, but there was some of the next time I need to work out and be able
Oh,
to keep my
well,
stamina up.
yeah, so there is a lot of walking, and that's true with with any tour.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of walking. This one, the one thing that really it was a complete surprise to me, and not a good surprise,
Mm,
was when we went to the castle. So the last time I was at Edinburgh Castle, Tracy and I were there, but we were walking. We weren't on a bus.
right.
So the last time I was on a bus going to the castle was 2 years ago. And at that time, the bus literally drops you off, whether it's the city bus or the private coaches. They
Right.
drop you off right next to the castle gate because it's on a hill. And I mean, it's a steep hill. It's not,
Right.
it's right at the top, which makes sense. It's
Right.
still an active military fort. But the problem was, and I didn't know this until that morning because we had a new driver just for that one day.
Uh-huh.
And the James was his name, very nice kid. He explained that last year, about a year ago, they stopped allowing the buses to drop
Mm.
off up there, and we had to drop off at the public bus stop, which
Oh no.
in order to get to the castle, you had to go up a flight of stairs that was like, I mean, straight up just
Right.
about.
Right.
And then from there, go up a hill, turn, and up another hill to get to the castle entrance, the gate. And that was very difficult for several of the people on the tour. And if I had known that ahead of time, which
Right.
I should have researched that. That was totally on me. Then I would have tried to figure something else out. But
Right.
yeah,
But you
that
wouldn't think
was,
something like that would change. I mean, like you literally was just there a couple years ago. I mean, like you wouldn't
yeah,
think that they would make it so complicated, physically taxing
yeah.
just to get into the castle itself.
Well, all the bus drivers, I mean, not just because, we were talking to other bus drivers at
Right.
different locations, and all the bus drivers that I talked to, they all hate the new system because it's so difficult for, I mean, not as many people can make it up there because it is such a hike up the hill. And when in Edinburgh, I mean, that's one of their biggest money makers is tourism. So if your tourists can't get up that hill, then, you know, you're losing out. So.
Well, I joke about the whole, well, I don't joke, I'm kind of serious, but I laugh about it, the whole working out to build up your stamina before going, because before the pandemic, my mom and Les, they were going to Italy, Germany, you know, that whole area up in there, Poland, every year for a couple years back to back. And oh my gosh, she'd always be like, honey, I would just love for you to go. And I'm thinking, nothing about what you're telling me makes me want to go, because she would talk about all the walking, and then like for some of the features, the steps, and the steps are real narrow and straight up. And I was just like, Mom, I would literally have to go on a Richard Simmons sweating to the 80s like for a year before I could go with her for as much as they walked. I mean, the pictures are beautiful, but oh my God.
This is a total sidebar, but you mentioned Richard Simmons, and I just saw the other day a video on Facebook of Pauly Shore he's now basically doing Richard Simmons type videos, workout videos. It's hysterical. Okay, sorry, I just had to say that.
Always something different here on Babel. I'm just saying. Okay, so we only have about 14 more minutes. So let's take a couple minutes and talk about the Iceland portion, the add-on. So what did you guys do there?
Okay, well, I'll do that in just a second, but real quick, I have the rest of the fabric because we also went out.
Fabric.
Yeah, because we also went out to the Isle of Skye, which there was a storm coming in, so we weren't able to go out to the ferry pools, but we did go to Portree. And in Portree is this really cute shop, and the owners are fabulous. And they hand dye their own batiks.
Oh, and okay.
So they don't sell it by the yard or by the meter, which I keep telling them they should, because people like us would buy it because it's all hand done. However, the closest thing they had was basically like panel pieces that you could get. So I did get these as gifts, but don't worry, the people that are getting them, they won't see this.
They won't be watching this. Got it.
Yeah. So this one is one. And like I said, these are all hand dyed.
Wow. That's beautiful.
And you can see the detail in the.
Yes, that's gorgeous.
So there's one, and then check out how rich this purple is. I could not get over this. This is insane.
Wow. Yeah, that's beautiful.
And it's this cool kind of almost.
It looks like a lizard or something.
Yeah, like kind of an Aboriginal Aztec-y kind of design. And then this one I loved because of the music.
Oh, nice. Yeah, beautiful.
And it was like musical notes.
Yes. Nancy McNally says, oh my gosh, that is beautiful. I agree.
Isn't it?
Now, do they have it where you guys could watch them hand dyeing this?
No, I wish they did. But so it's a husband and wife team, and the husband mostly runs the shop, and the wife hand dyes, and their kids hand dye the fabrics. And I think she's got some other family members involved now, but like this one, I love. It's almost like dolphins.
It does. Yeah, definitely. That's cute.
So, but yeah,
I love that purple.
I know, it's so great. But yeah, so this shop I've been in a couple times now, and I always leave with a whole bunch of stuff from that shop, because I even bought a little like scrunchy thing that was made out of, because they have all kinds of stuff that's made out of their fabrics. So, you know, you can get aprons and jumpers and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, okay, that's all the fabric that I got.
Well, so considering you had to leave room for Brody and Cameron, I understand.
They did. Well, they went in my carry-on because, you know.
You could not lose them in transit.
I feel like Brody needs to come with me on my adventures now and like take pictures of him all over the world. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Should Brody go on travel adventures with the quilters? What do you think?
I think he should. I think he should.
Okay, so Iceland, like I said, in Iceland, it was an optional 3-day layover or 3-night, whatever it was. And my husband, he actually met us there. So after everybody left, then he and I stayed an extra like 3 or 4 days.
Right.
doing more exploring. So that was very cool because that is the first time in 20 years I've been able to get him to come on a trip with me. So,
And
yay!
because he knows you're gonna make him walk and keep going and walk. I'm
We
just
did
saying.
actually. It was very cool. So the first day, when we got to Iceland, of course, just went out to our hotel in Reykjavik, and then everybody on their own for dinner, whatever they wanted to do. And the hotel was really nice. It's right down by the water. There's like a little, oh my goodness, where the boats are. My brain stopped working.
Girl,
That
you
word,
talk foreign land I did
marina,
not know.
marina. That's the word I
The
was
marine
looking for.
Oh, a common term, okay.
Yeah, so because they have whale watching boats and stuff that you can go out on, and so anyway, so the first full day that we had there, I organized a trip for all of us to go on. It's do the Golden Circle. So we went to Geyser, which is
Right, guys.
what all the other geysers in the world are named after, is this one. And it's kind of like Yellowstone in that or Yellowstone used to be, because it goes off regularly. But this one,
Wow.
it's not very big, but it goes off like I think every like 3 to 5 minutes it goes.
Really
So yeah, but it's a
fun.
whole park that you can walk around and see all the hot springs, and they have these
Yeah.
signs that have temperature gauges on them. And
Oh,
one of them, I took a picture of it, and it says between 80 to 100 degrees Celsius.
Celsius. Okay.
Celsius. Now, if you know that 32 degrees, which is our freezing, right, Fahrenheit,
Yeah.
is 0
Yeah.
Celsius.
Yeah. That's crazy. I
You
mean,
can
that's
imagine
hot.
what 80 to 100 degrees. So basically, don't put your finger in it.
Yeah. No, for sure. Brenda LeBee says those boutiques are fabulous. They
Yes,
they
yes.
really are for sure. So Nancy McNally wants to know who Brody and Cameron are. It's her
Oh,
two new kids.
this is Brody. See, he has a little name tag. This is Brody.
Oh my gosh.
And then Cameron, where'd he go? He was right. Oh, here he is. Cameron is my little coo. And see, he
So
has a name too. So yeah,
basically, Nancy, before you got here, Rona was saying that she had to buy every animal she's seen that had a name attached.
yeah.
So it
I think it
looks
was because they
like
had a
the
name.
boats it looks like the boats are coming in, Rona. Everybody is saying yes,
Yes,
Brody, the traveling companion.
there you go.
Esther,
He's the
Esther
traveling
says yes.
quacker. Instead of the quilter, he's the quacker.
Oh my, the traveling quacker. I think, yeah, Brody is going to be like your emotional support animal. He should
I
get
think
clearance
so.
to travel. And then Lori Kennedy, of course, says yes, yes, yes. Nancy is now saying yes. I think
um,
it's a done deal. I
I
still
think
think
it
there
is
should be
too.
a T-shirt. You
I
could
think
do.
so. I think, and the more that he travels and shows up in videos and things, then people are going to want. Brody's going to be popular. I can feel it in my heart.
It was like love at first sight, Rona and Brody. I love it.
I think so. I mean,
The the
so,
T-shirt, you've already said it now. You can have a picture of you on one side that says Rona the Traveling Quilter. The other side is going to be Brody the
the
Traveling Quack.
traveling quacker. Yeah,
Oh my
just
gosh.
quack you up. Yep.
Oh my Lord. Okay,
Okay.
so we only have a few moments left.
So,
About 5 minutes. Nope. Did you have something to say before I say what I'm
oh, I
going to
was just
say?
gonna finish Iceland real quick. The
Oh,
the
go
rest of
ahead.
so that day tour, we also went to Thingvellir, which is their national park, and it's where the two what is it, the tectonic plates, or what, I don't know. I'm not a geologist. Anyway, it's where the Pacific and
Oh,
like European things mesh together. Like
yes.
that's the park, and you're literally walking between the two, going through there. Especially if you're into like geology and stuff. It's very, very cool. And there's a waterfall there with the drowning pool, which has a really fascinating history to it. Not very fun one, story to
That's what
that
I'm getting
one,
ready to
but
say. You're calling it the drowning pool. I
that's the
can't.
name of it. It's the drowning pool, which is at the
Wow.
base of that waterfall. But anyway, so that park is amazing, absolutely amazing, and you can see the lava fields and stuff with the moss growing. I did not know there are hundreds of different types of moss that grows on the lava fields. It's amazing. Anyway, so we went there, and then we went to the waterfalls. And now I can't think of the waterfalls that we went to, but there's another one that Rochelle and I went live on Instagram that with the waterfall behind us. So it was in the Golden. Oh, that was the other one. We went to the tomato farm. How can I forget? If you ever go to Iceland, go to the tomato farm. You will not regret it. It is absolutely the most delicious tomato soup I've ever had in my entire life. And it's a giant greenhouse where they grow like 30 some odd different types of tomatoes. And you're literally walking amongst the tomatoes. Yeah, I even bought some tomato salt that I brought home.
I've never heard of tomato salt, but I guess it makes sense.
Oh, the Iceland is known for their salts. They have all kinds of different flavored salts and rock salt and pink salt and Himalayan salt and all kinds of different salts. Right. But yeah. So two things that I got in Iceland while we were there is because we only have a couple minutes, but in the airport, they have these little it's called Made by Grandma is the tag. And they had I couldn't pass them up for my granddaughters.
Oh, with the little heart.
And they're knitted, the hand knitted Viking helmets.
Those are cute.
I could not pass those up. They're so cute. And then we went. So my husband and I, when we went off on our little adventure, we stopped by this museum that was by these two waterfalls. They were the two sister waterfalls, and they had this kit because I like cross stitch. I like counted cross stitch. It's about the only hand stuff that my brain can slow down to do. Check this out.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Isn't that cool? And I'm reading this thing going, okay, that's in Icelandic, so this will be fun, trying to figure that out. And then I actually looked at it closer, and there's a section in English too.
Okay, so I was getting ready to start panicking for you, literally.
But yeah, it's a full kit and everything.
That's fun.
But they had just at this random little museum thing on the ring road. You never know what you're going to find.
You never know. I love taking side roads. Ones you don't even know, just get on them. There is going to be some little cute place to either stop, take pictures. Lori Kennedy said beautiful, or some little mom and pop shop that is just going to have something unique in it. It's one of my
favorites. And I almost forgot the best thing. So when we, I'm sure I don't know if you saw the video, but we posted the video on Facebook and Instagram. So one of the places that my husband and I went to the Westman Islands, which is like right off the southern coast of Iceland. Excuse me. And we went to the puffin sanctuary. It's the beluga sanctuary that have two belugas that they had rescued from China, and they're my favorite whale. So of course I had to go see the belugas, but it's also a puffin hospital. So this island is one of the ones where the puffins just take over in the summer when they come in. And so the locals literally, if they see a puffin with like a broken wing or something like that, they'll pick it up, put it in a box, and take it to this sanctuary where they get healed up and released back into the wild. Well, they had one there, and I got to release it into the wild.
You did?
I did. That was the coolest thing ever. It was a baby puffin, and their feathers are so soft. Under the wings, and it was very, very cool.
Oh my gosh. Nancy says, sounds like the Scotland Iceland tour was a big success.
I feel like it was.
I think, Nancy, it sounds like everybody had so much fun and it was so cram-packed. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I probably only told you guys about half of everything we actually did. There was tons and tons.
I seen your itinerary way back when you were planning, and my response to Rona, because she's like, do you think this sounds good? Do you think this is enough? And I was like, yeah, it's fabulous, and Lisa will never go. I'm like, I'm exhausted reading it. But that is fabulous. If I was retired, maybe, but oh my God, it's crazy. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight on Quilt Battle Live to hear about our tour. You know, I always end the episode with saying, Rona, what's next? Because you're the traveling quilter and stuff. Lori says, thanks for doing this. Rona and Lisa, great. You are so welcome, Lori. So, Rona, I'm not going to change it up. I'm going to ask you real quick, even though we're at the end of our hour, what is coming up for Rona?
So we have the bus tour, the quilt show bus tour in South Carolina next spring. There's still some seats available for that. And then we have the Missouri Star Quilt Retreat next summer. Those are all on the website. And then also keep a lookout on the newsletter. If you are not subscribed to myself or Nancy McNally or Scott Flanagan or Tracy Perks, because the four of us, it's coming up next month, is going to be the official launch of our big retreat for next year. And you guys, there's a limited number of space. And when it goes live, this sucker is going to sell out because it's going to be the four of us and 4 projects in Shipshewana, Indiana. And it's next fall in 2026. It's going to be amazing. So definitely sign up for all 4 newsletters because, well, you should anyway. You should be following us.
You should. That's right. You should anyway. Yeah. So Diane was in, she was either in Shipshewana or near there like last week. And I was telling her, I was like, oh, in 26, if you go back, I'm like,
Yep.
I always say the 4 kids, they're going to be there together.
We are, and it's going to be a good time because I mean, when we get together, you never know what's going to happen, but shenanigans will be involved. That's for sure.
Well, if the Flanagans is there, there's always shenanigans.
Well, and Tracy, I mean, my goodness, and Nancy, but yeah, when any of us get together, let alone all of us, holy cow.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. Tracy's going to be coming over from the UK for that.
Yep.
You're from Nevada, right? Is it Nevada?
In Nevada. Yep.
I can't keep up. Nancy from Michigan, Scott from Nebraska, and they're going to collide in Indiana. Like, what could go wrong?
Well, a lot can go right.
That's my point. What can go wrong? Steve and I are saving some money up for the bail bondsman as we speak for this.
Probably a good idea.
I know. So Rona, you had one last message you wanted to tell everybody before we signed off tonight, right?
I did. My brain's shut down already. I don't remember.
Okay, I'm going to tell it for her then. Because she has so much coming up, she will be taking a small hiatus.
Yes. Yeah, I do. Sorry. I totally forgot about that.
Do you see what I deal with this girl?
Yeah, well, it's because I was trying to focus on the positive stuff, the good stuff. So, okay, so for those that don't know, I have had some medical issues come up and everything's fine. But I will be having surgery in December. And so it's going to be quite a significant recovery time after the surgery. So we are going to unfortunately have to take a sabbatical from Quilt Babble for a little while. I'm hoping that we'll be back in January, but it's still up in the air. It just depends on how the surgery goes. So if you do follow, like I said, my newsletter, then I'll be keeping everybody updated on how things go and when I'll be able to come back and all that stuff. So for sure by February, but we'll have to play January by ear. So yeah, like I said, I like to focus on the positive, and that's not positive.
Well, Lori Kennedy is sending you some prayers.
Thank you.
Positive because when Rona and I were talking about this, she has some very exciting things that she's plotting for 26 and 27. So I was telling her, take this downtime to do all that amazing plotting because that means she's bringing trips, she's bringing books, she's bringing all of this stuff back to the forefront. So even if she has to lay low a little bit from the front lines to make all of that happen, and of course get herself healthy, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. But yeah, so newsletter for Rona, how do they go to sign up for that if they're not on it?
The RonaTheRiveter.com is where my newsletter, and it's all over the place on the main page, pretty much any page. There's a place there to sign up for the newsletter.
Absolutely.
And guys, don't we have a birthday? We're supposed to say happy birthday to somebody.
Oh, shoot.
I thought that's what you were talking about when you asked me. I'm like, wait, what?
No, I'm a loser. I'm a loser. First, before I tell why I'm a loser, Kathy says, Ship Shawana retreat sounds amazing.
Yes, Kathy, it would be awesome if you could come.
I think it will be. Yeah, and she could see Tracy again because she met Tracy, right?
Yep. Yep.
But yes, you're so right, Rona. Thank you for remembering. Today is Debbie Hollis, one of our first employees at Serendipitous. Today is her birthday. And I'm hoping she's not watching. I hope she's off celebrating her birthday. She's probably turning like 21, I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
she's got to have that 21 drink, right?
Barely 21. She's so young. We're all getting there. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Quilt Babble Live tonight with me and Rona. Rona, thank you for sharing your trip with us. Those that
Absolutely.
did not get on the boat to go, definitely. Brenda says, best wishes for a successful surgery, quick recovery, and we will
Thank
miss
you.
but your health is most important. That's right, Miss Brenda LeBee. Rona, thank you so much. Till next
Thank
time.
you, guys. Happy birthday,
will,
Debbie.
Yes, happy birthday, Debbie. Hey, at least we didn't sing to her. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.